Hey guys, in today's show, I'm going to talk about a woman that was set on fire by her boyfriend and toxic traits that could lead up to these type of happenings. Stay tuned. Hey guys, thank you for joining in today. Today's topic will be, are you sure you are not toxic? And I will be using the example of a story where a man set his girlfriend on fire. Can't make this stuff up, guys. Yeah, so there was a lady named Michelle Gillis, and apparently she was entangled with this toxic gentleman, and it cost her her life. So I will begin today's discussion by giving you guys the clip so that you can have the reference point as I go through my discussion today. All right.
Wolf admitted to pouring gasoline on 6-year-old Michelle Gillis and then lighting her on fire back on February 8th.
Wolf's now being charged with murder and first-degree arson. Investigative reporter Derek Rush has more after speaking with the victim's son.
The victim's son told me that losing his mother was very difficult, and it contradicts what you see below because we gave out very little information.
We started asking the investigators, well, what can you tell us? What happened? Because the only thing we knew at that time was he called my aunt and said he lit my mother on fire. We didn't even get no whole full stories of what happened until the news reports came out.
Sadness as Terrence Bottoms talks about his mother's death. Arrest warrants say Michelle Gillis suffered third-degree burns after being lit on fire by her boyfriend. As Wolf was leaving the scene, he crashed into a fire vehicle, spending days in the hospital. The sheriff's office arrested Wolf after he was treated for his injuries. Chief Chandra Gibbs saying this is being treated as a domestic violence case.
It's tragic when there's any loss of life. We have, unfortunately, in South Carolina ranked extremely high as it pertains to persons that have lost their lives to domestic violence.
Experts explain navigating domestic issues isn't easy.
When someone is attempting to leave a domestic violence relationship, it's very important for them to measure out what it looks like to do so safely.
In an incident report, Gillis claimed Wolf had been physical in the past.
Losing that type of control, he can become more vengeful, more rageful, and he will attempt to take things to the next level.
And as he hangs mourning flowers for his mother, Terrence has a message for anyone dealing with domestic violence.
One time is too much. Because if he did it to my mom, he had to be physical with her at some point.
We did ask Chief Gibbs about communication between investigators and Gillis's family. She says it's something they are looking into. The family has started a GoFundMe account as well to help cover the cost of funeral arrangements. Reporting here in Orangeburg County, I'm Derek Rush, WIS News 10.
Domestic violence experts say it can.
And there you have it, folks. That story pisses me off. I mean, it really does something to me. Man, there's so many things that hit me with that story. Ooh, let's start with the build up. Ladies, what is going on? I mean, you heard the guy at the end of the clip. One time is enough to let you know. Why would you expect something different when somebody already shows you their hand? They're not going to change. You can train a zebra, but you can't change its stripes. An old saying, and it is so true for a lot of situations, such as this one. Now, this guy here is obviously a character, right? And I believe he thinks he's a tough guy or something. Calling the audacity to call her family and say I just set her on fire. You know what, man? If it's anybody listening to me in that prison system, man, it would be so. We would love for something to happen to that guy. To be completely honest with you, just saying. But God, man, can you believe the audacity of this guy? There's so many problems right there. And then the irony of the whole situation, that guys, is after he set her on fire, he gets hit by a fire truck. I mean, God has a way of laughing, a funny sense of humor, right? So, yeah. So here's the thing. This is where the toxic traits come in because I don't want to speak on toxic behaviors. A lot of people may do that unintentionally. But my moral today is the toxic traits because any one of us still has the chance of becoming this guy because we don't even know the road that led to him even getting to this point where you would kill the person that you supposedly love in such a horrific manner. So I would definitely say that I want to start at the beginning. That story just he that story, man. But anyway, toxic. A lot of us don't understand that we are really toxic, and I want to break down the this toxic traits and symptoms from a different perspective, as a lot of people just don't realize that basic negative emotions are toxic emotions, right? Those are toxic emotions. So even though you may not be going out intentionally doing something harmful to a person or in any type of way, you have a certain energy that you're harboring and carrying around. And I believe that after a while of harboring these toxic energies, it becomes concentrated in you. And it has no choice but to go somewhere and it starts to come out and there's leakage. And some cases can be more extreme than others. And I wanted to show you guys this slide from neurolaunch.com. Is talking about toxic emotions. Now, toxic emotions, common toxic emotions include chronic anger, prolonged sadness, persistent guilt, and overwhelming anxiety. These feelings aren't just feelings, fleeting moments of discomfort. They're emotional states that linger, fester, and grow, much like emotional parasites, feeding off of our psychological well being. They drain our energy, cloud our judgment, and can even impact our physical health. Guys, the point that I wanted to make is that let's I believe in self-improvement, which is the basis of community development for me, as I believe we all should focus on ourselves and not point the finger at anyone else, because if you point one finger, there's always three pointing back at you. But if we focus on ourselves and try to limit these type of toxic characteristics from just dwelling in us, from just making our energy polluted and polluting our reality and everything that comes into contact with us in that state. I believe that it can definitely help brighten our lives and our days. And I don't want to get too stuck on that subject too much because there are a lot of people that believe that just because they don't have any negative type of emotions that they are not toxic. Well, got bad news for you. You're in the toxic club too. You're in there with the rest of us. Because here's the thing, there's nothing wrong with negative emotions. Let's get that correct. They're there for a reason, right? But you have to know when to use them and use them strategically. But if you drive, you wake up every day, and before you get to work, you're already in a bad mood. You're already upset. You're already discomforted. You're already frustrated. Well, those emotions are toxic emotions. That makes you a toxic person that day. Yeah, that makes you a toxic person that day, and me also. And it takes a toxic person to know one and to even start to uh, make ourselves better, right? Self improvement. Now, for you do-gooders that think you can't get mad at anything, right? I got something for you guys too, huh? Because there's a term called toxic positivity. See, and a lot of people do this. This is where you try not to have any type of bad emotions about anything. And really, what's happening is that you're suppressing your emotions. You kind of faking. You know, you're suppressing your emotions, and that that also leads up to explosions like that. Because you are the people that we really need to be worried about, because y'all keep so much push down and make sure and act like everything is cool, that whenever you get there to that point, something really devastating happens because you haven't, let out those small amounts of steam along the way. You let it build up, and now it's a nuclear bomb, you know. So I have somebody that can explain the toxic positivity a little bit better for me on this clip, and I will show you guys that right here.
Toxic positivity and affirming self-talk. That's what I'm talking about today. I'm Dr. Tracy Marks, a psychiatrist, and I make mental health education videos. Today's video is based on a viewer question from Anandu, who says, can you do a video on negative power of fake and toxic positivity and overdose motivation? Thanks, Anandu, for your question. An emotionally healthy state is one in which you can experience and express a full range of emotions from happy to sad to mad to fearful. If you get stuck on one and eliminate others, you're not whole. Happy and positive thoughts feel good, but it's not the only emotion you have. We naturally want to eliminate negative emotions, and because of this, many people can grow up having trouble owning negative emotions and can feel guilty about having them. This guilt and shame over being negative can lead to toxic positivity. We can define toxic positivity as rejecting or dismissing negative emotions and replacing them with false reassurances. You excessively focus on the good side of things and fail to appreciate the true feeling that the person is experiencing. Here's how toxic positivity can affect the way you think or the way you interact with others. First, here's how it can affect you. You can avoid talking about or even thinking about uncomfortable feelings. You feel guilty when you experience negative emotions like anger. When bad things happen, you only acknowledge the positive aspects of the situation. And you admire people who are always positive and you aspire to be like them. Here are some of the things that you can say to others. No worries.
All right, guys, if you would like to finish that clip, it is Dr. Tracy Marks. You can find her on YouTube. She has a lot of great information for mental health. And I just wanted to put that out there because you always have those people that believe that, oh, I'm not, there's nothing wrong with me. Yeah, there's something wrong with all of us, man. We can always be getting a little bit better. I mean, you show me a perfect person, I'll show you a perfect liar. So we're not going to go there. A lot of us have these toxic traits that come up in moments, and it's hard to distinguish negative emotions from toxic traits because grief is not a toxic trait. You should grieve somebody if you miss them and they're gone. There's, they're there for a reason, but um, just be conscious of how you're existing and how you what emotions that you're giving to other people because you're basically transferring that negative energy, and that toxicity can also be transferred to you. So you need to also watch the people that you are around, ladies and gentlemen, because they can set you on fire too. um Look, they told us that guy, she had already made a police report, so she already knew what time it was with this guy. Why would you continue to do that? I mean, you can love this person, but you need to love yourself because a lot of people don't realize situations like this and how common they are and how serious that they can be. And I'm sure she was one of these women, like a lot of you guys, trying to help the guy, right? Trying to help him, right? She's trying to help him, and all of a sudden, you don't know what happened, but I know she's in heaven, like Lord, why me? Lord, why me? And she because she was the one doing right, and he's still down here, you know. So man, look, when you see the signs, show them your behind. All right, that means it's time to move on because you don't know how deep the rabbit hole gets, and it can get very dark and cold down at the bottom. All right, I am Twaun X. This is the Double Take Podcast, and I will talk to you guys soon. Hey guys, thanks for visiting my channel. If you liked the video, please subscribe to the channel below and also hit that like button. Thank you for visiting, and I'll talk to you guys soon.